Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for July 9th. Currently looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This pair formed an inside bar today. It did close higher. However, we are looking for this pair to continue moving lower, and the bias is still to the downside. Look for this pair to potentially move as high as 94.26, possibly as low as 91.63 in this pair. Look for some resistance around 93.58. Possibly some support around 92.36. Now, switching to the Euro-USD pair, this particular pair moved higher during this last session. We are continuing to watch this pair move sideways, and the bias is sideways as well. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 141.72, possibly as low as 137.66. Look for some resistance around 140.81, possibly some support around 139.25 in this particular pair. Now, looking at the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair moved higher during this last session. We are seeing this pair continue to move sideways with a bias that is sideways. We pulled back, basically back into the sideways range where we were by a little bit, but still nonetheless pulled back into it. We are looking for this pair to potentially move as high as 165.00, possibly as low as 169.04. Look for some resistance around 164.57, possibly some support around 162.30 in this particular pair. Now, looking at the US Swiss, there we go. This pair moved lower today, continuing to move sideways, biased to sideways as well. Look for this pair to move potentially as high as 1.0996, possibly as low as 1.0671. Look for some resistance around 1.0843 and possibly some support around 1.0748 in this particular pair. Now, the pound held their rates at 0.50% as expected, so it really didn't affect the market all that much. Canadian dollar housing starts were greater than expected, better than expected, at 140.7K, up from 130.3K. Looking ahead till tomorrow, we have the Canadian dollar releasing their net change in unemployment or employment for June at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is things have improved from negative 41.8K to negative 40K. Well, that about does it for the charts and the news announcements. What am I looking for during this next session? I'm looking at the yen, and while we still have a strong downward trend, seems like every time we get a strong move to the downside, we have a pretty strong pullback back up to the previous support, and then it becomes resistance. So kind of what I'm looking for is this pair during this next session to break this high, look to buy that, and look for it to tag this session's low where it hits support would now be resistance. So look for it to break above this, maybe break the 90.75 range, and then head on back up to this point, tag it, and then it pulls back and would probably close, if it moved like that, would probably close a little bit lower. But we do have this window of opportunity between this point and this point in the yen where it just dropped, and I do believe that if we get a break above this session that we just closed high, that we could see that that window of opportunity closed. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.